The sitting premier has his or her residence here at the Legislative Assembly. So this building is the seat of the provincial government of Alberta.
Nice.
For me to accept that anything one might consider to be a coincidence to truly exist, there are no coincidences, only opportune moments. And whether we're aware of them or not is all that changes.
Mama and God, you the real thing. Can't even capture me, know you feel something. Yeah, you wanted a million and you show it. What you want, I'm back, really acted like I had it. You seen right through it, knew I was catting up. Still let me hit it till you cashed out.
You know, as long as you can weather the stress and put in the time, you can make it.
You can bypass the stress.
You can bypass the stress. At the end of the day,
that is amazing.
And I think to bypass the stress, you have to remember that.
I've never heard anybody actually mention the word bypass the stress.
Yeah.
Because I always say, you know what, you need to live, uncomfortable, but then what you worded actually makes so much sense in the way that, actually send a strong message.
Stress is only something you make up in your head.
Yeah,
yeah, no problem. I'm in technology,
okay.
So mostly cybersecurity and IT. I'm the guy that fixes your computer.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Living outside your comfort to achieve the greatness. And he just said it now. Why? If you can bypass the stress, there's nothing in life that's impossible.
I agree.
I love that.
Have a great night.
I love that, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
No problem.
What's your name, by the way?
Ravi.
Ravi, my name's Ali.
Great to meet you.
Why? Nice meeting you too.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
This ice cream is amazing.
Okay.
It's at, what's it called? Little Bear Gelato. Totally worth the visit. Totally worth the cost. I got it in a cup because I was in Kelowna last week. I got it in a cone and it melted all over my hand. So this is the way to do it. So make sure to come try it out.
Amazing. That's amazing, man. Thanks, man.
And
That's
now
great.
she can be on it.
Oh yeah.
I don't have anything to
Say
say.
something.
Well, you've got something interesting on your hands.
This is mango Little Bear Gelato. It's also worth it.
Nice one. Nice one. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Can you take a picture?
Hi guys. One other special moment and special day, as I just finished work from the library on my way home, I bumped into this gentleman. We met actually last week when I arrived here in Edmonton, but we collect, but we didn't had a chance to really dive into any kind of conversation until now. So we just bump into each other randomly, and then for some weird reason and some super, energy just blew us, and then decided to kind of take this conversation at a complete different level that I never imagined. So I want you to meet the most special human being, the most unique and really extraordinary being.
Hey everyone, my name is Xavier. I had the good pleasure of meeting my new friend here, Ali, just a week ago as he arrived in Edmonton, as he said. It was most interesting to me the way in which we bumped into each other, exchanged information, and I lost his YouTube channel he'd given to me. And a week later, as I'm packing up my things, I have this sudden urge to, okay, it's time for you to leave the office and go downstairs. And so I do, and sure enough, this man is passing just outside of my office door. And we began a conversation about the vastness of the universe. And what I find most interesting, I think, is that the universe is far too complicated, far too massive, old, and intricately composed for me to accept that anything one might consider to be a coincidence to truly exist. There are no coincidences, only opportune moments. And whether we're aware of them or not is all that changes.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. So now, guys, you can have an idea how this talk is going to go. Why? So, what do you do for a living?
I am the Assistant Director of Admissions at CDI College.
Beautiful. That's amazing. And then tell me, what do you find the most fascinating about life itself?
It's a good question. The thing I find most fascinating about life itself is that there is an intricate marriage between what we would consider the spiritual world, the realm of spiritual possibilities and circumstance, and what we would term our everyday stone and bone reality. What's interesting to me is that every aspect of religion, faith, history speaks of duality in all things, speaks of the duality of the yin and yang, of the divine feminine and divine masculine, the balancing act of all things in the universe, so that everything that exists in the material must then have an opposite, a counterpart in the realm that is spiritual. So when we look at, perhaps for some examples of that, we might look at things like modern day chemistry is really just the physical branch of the spiritual practice of alchemy, the conversion of thought and dialogue and energy, and not so much the physical application of lead into gold as was carried forward into our mythology, our mythos, but rather the ability to transmute thought and focused will into a tangible result, into the ether, into existence. Physics has its counterpart in metaphysics. Divination really is just the application of mathematical probability and statistics, the ability to predict and forecast future events and causalities based on arbitrary information, relevant or otherwise.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So, guys, you can tell where we're coming from, right, and where this is definitely going. And tell me, Xavier, what's your belief system? Is there any particular belief system that you think you believe in and you want to kind of discuss tonight?
I'm not an atheist by any means, but it would be inaccurate to say that I ascribe to any particular religion. The closest faith practice one might attribute to my character would perhaps be omnism, and only because omnism shares the philosophy that all religions have a grain of truth in them somewhere, and that through the examination of each of their mythology you might uncover the truth of, well, things, the truth of life, the truth of existence, I suppose. But what's interesting to me is that we often argue about religion. We fight about our particular religious practices and the way in which we worship and which rules to follow and which not. And I think what's interesting is that we often argue about whom the messenger was, but never about what he said. Generally the message is, love each other, be good to each other, build a world of compassion, and the keys to heaven are yours, is basically the gist of it. Do good and you'll have a good afterlife. Do poorly and things aren't going to be so great for you. That's generally the ideology. But for me, the idea of infinite punishment because I missed a few checkboxes just doesn't sit right with me. That feels too human. That's a human set of laws. It's a human set of practices, because a divine being who cares only about the immortality of my soul doesn't care about such things. And if he does, then I don't really care to meet him or her.
Absolutely. So looks like you actually you talk you speak in the language of the universe. For me, that's deep. Once you understand that language, then you in tune and you in synchronize with with the universe.
Absolutely.
And based on that, I also want to know what's your soil like. What's your background? And I know we talked about this. We touched base on this on our way here. I want to know your background. Is there where do your ancestors come from?
I recently found out actually that my ancestors are from South Africa, so we have Zulu ancestry.
Amazing. So guys, you can hear that, right? So looks like South Africa, you've got your blood in all the different places. So that's what apartheid does, right? That's called apartheid now.
Absolutely.
So now what happened was, during the apartheid, a lot of South Africans have been scattered in different part of the world, seeking exile. So
I'd like to see us all go home.
Definitely.
To rebuild.
Definitely. And then you mentioned about that earlier on. I want you to actually also repeat for the audience to hear. So, yeah. I know that's a big topic.
It is a huge topic.
Yeah,
All right, fine. It boils down to simple math. Africa has the largest pool of resources, labor, youth, and history and culture in the entire world. Arguably the birthplace of humanity. Most historians will debate that humanity arguably came out of, I believe, South Sudan or Ethiopia, northeastern Africa in any respect. But Africa is 54 nations with 33 currencies, with the largest pools of copper, tungsten, iron, gold, lithium. Y'all cell phones, they don't work without Africa. You don't have them. Lithium batteries, they come from Africa. The gold that you like to wear, the diamonds that we mine, all of that comes out of Africa's soil, and all of it is being hoarded out, pardon my language, to the rest of the world. The scramble for Africa nearly destroyed us. And 450 years later, nearly 500 years, and we are still bleeding, and all of us are scattered to the winds. What I would argue is that it's time we went home. And there's going to be a lot of people who will say, well, you know what? You're mixed. You're half British. You know, there's no home there for you, or you because you've been gone so long that you're lost forever. I disagree. I disagree because, to me, family doesn't fade over time. If you are taken from me, then you're still my brother, and I'm going to come get you. And I think that's true for us as a family, is that we need to think about whether or not we could gather up enough of us. Engineers, lawyers, doctors, architects, physicians, mathematicians, scientists, explorers, dreamers, and achievers to go back, to take up posts across the continent, to build one flag, one banner, one homeland with one currency. Africa, in 5 to 10 years, almost overnight, if enough of us went home, would become a global superpower, the most powerful continent on planet Earth, in a second. And all it would take was a decision to return to our roots.
That's amazing.
That could be worth it.
That's amazing. That's so beautiful. I love this. I so love this, you know. And tell me, right? And you've lived in Edmonton for all your life.
I have, yeah.
And have you ever thought of, you know, being elsewhere other than Edmonton?
Yes, actually. Travel is really important to me. I've spent a lot of my youth and early adulthood traveling throughout Canada, and to my regret, I haven't yet left the country. Africa, of course, is pretty high on my to-do list. But the world, I think, is so large, and your life is so long. Everybody says it's short, but it's not. You've got nearly 100 years here, and you're going to tell me that you're comfortable living in one tiny little pocket of it, seeing one minute perspective. Maybe you get to see some YouTube videos and get a little bit of an eye glimpse into what another life might be like, but it's not the same as living in another country for 2 or 3 years, and I think everyone owes themselves that. The world's too big for you to live in one spot forever.
Absolutely, that's right. And tell me, which part of you is from South Africa? Is it the mom or the daddy side?
My dad's side.
Your dad's side. Beautiful, beautiful. And are you still in touch, you know, with your dad?
Yeah. It's, every now and then I see and hear from him. Yeah.
Oh, you still here?
Yeah, he's still here. He's just back and forth from here in Calgary. So.
Oh, okay, fantastic. And your mom?
I don't know. I haven't seen or heard from her in a long time.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay, that's cool. And you've also kind of, you know. I'm sure you know we've talked on our way here that there's this age, you know, you have to start your own YouTube channel as well, because the kind of knowledge and stuff that we talked about, and some of it I don't even want to talk about it here right now, because it looks like there's going to be a lot of conversation, a lot of debate, and a lot of chat. So that's something that I think we may need to sit down and plan properly, and then we can then tackle it in the way, and until you get your channel as well, because that's the very same conversation you can also upload on your channel once you get started. Because I think you should definitely look into starting your own channel as well. This is going to be a mind-blowing, this is going to be an education, and it's going to benefit a lot of people out there. Okay, so if there's anything that you will want to share to the youth out there, right, in order for them to really
there is
upgrade their life and being able to achieve the impossible. What is impossible? What is life most impossible thing that's like almost the hardest to achieve? Is there anything, or is there such?
Accept the hardest thing is accepting that nothing is impossible. We talked about one topic that you found rather profound, so I want to touch on it for you. It was when we spoke of the idea that energy was limitless, it couldn't be created or destroyed, it had to change form, and et cetera, et cetera. We discussed the law of conservation of energy. And we suggested that scientists, having found that something like 7 to 10 ounces of mass, unexplainable mass, actually exits the human body, and it can't be explained. We've done the math, so to speak. We've sort of figured out, okay, well, X amount is vapor, fluid, etc., just from your muscles relaxing. But this small amount, we can't figure it out. Scientists are basically saying, we're not sure that it isn't the human soul, but if we had to guess, maybe. And I mean, obviously scientists don't like to guess, but I mean, even just the lack of an abject denial, that's pretty riveting. So if that's true, then I propose that if we know that all is mind, if everything is mental, and that you can interface with physical world objects, the earth, the ground, the bench we're sitting on, then it's correlative that energy exists the same way, and that on a certain level, if you were able to adjust your frequency to the world around you, you could alter events, experiences, structures, theoretically. Granted, I'm not nowhere near versed enough to do that, but my theory is simply this. If all is mind, and we all agree that there's some form of energy or ether or force surrounding the world and all of us, then it's possible that what we're looking for as godhood, as the divine being, the creator, may not exist in the way that we think it does. I mean, think about it. We're giving it very human roles. We give it a male gender. We give it a sort of a fatherly role to fill. We're trying to give it a human existence, and it can't have one. But maybe that's it. Maybe that's the thing we're missing, is that there is a thing, a force, an energy that is conscious of itself, that is older than time and all things, and that thing has created us as a means to experience what it's like to have a finite existence. 7 billion tendrils of consciousness reaching out into all of our little souls or all of our little existences and experiencing life as we know it. I will finalize by saying this. If you have a glass of water and you want to know its temperature, you just have to stick a finger in it to see if it's hot or cold, right? That's the universe. That's consciousness. 7 billion fingers, 7 billion lives. So every time you're good to someone else, you're being good to you. At another time, in that exact moment, in a different form. And when you're cruel to someone, you're doing that to you too. You are every person you have been good to, and you are every person who has hurt you. If you go forward with that knowledge in your heart, in your mind, with every decision you make, you're going to find a lot more success and a lot more abundance than you would have ordinarily. And I challenge you to look for it.
That's amazing. Guys, this is so beautiful, and I cannot thank you enough. This is going to do a lot of wonders to the audience out there, to the community out there, to all those who are battling with any form of complications, that are struggling to get out of it. We want you guys to know today that you can do it. You can come out of poverty. You can come out of any form of disease, any defeat, whatever it is that you feel you're going through mentally, physically, spiritually. You know that you have it all within you to make it happen for yourself.
Absolutely.
What do you want to add to that?
It's funny that you mentioned coming out of poverty. I actually only recently, it was like sleeping on couches, trying to figure myself out. I slept in the foyer of an apartment building a few months back when I got back from Kelowna.
Wow.
Now I have a brand new condo, a great job, a girlfriend who adores me.
Wow.
I'm not saying that by any means to rub it in. What I'm getting at really is just the transition. I want you to realize that he's right.
Absolutely.
You can be at your darkest moment, and if you refuse to accept defeat, if you are in such a dark place that the only thing that you can will yourself to do is to exist out of spite, then do that. Do that with everything you have, because waking up the next day is an opportunity for you to change something. And I promise you, all it takes is one infinitesimal change. You make one change, and sometimes that's enough to catalyze everything else. Even if it's just as simple as getting out of bed, taking a shower, or making all of the pieces of a sandwich instead of just munching on cheese and toast, because I've done that. But do one thing. Do one thing, because you have to give yourself a fighting chance. And I'm saying that from experience. I mean, my partner now has been a big catalyst in overcoming my own depression and dealing with my own mental health challenges. But honestly, the biggest difference was made by the decision to just not be okay with the way things were going, not being okay with, laying in bed or refusing to go outside. Sometimes you have to be a parent to yourself. You have to teach yourself like an errant child who just needs a little bit of discipline and structure. And sometimes that helps, because then you're tricking yourself into someone caring about you if you feel like no one does. Sometimes that person has to start with you.
Amazing. Amazing. That's beautiful, man. I really thank you so much. And this means a lot to us, to the community, to the world out there. And guys, stay tuned, stay blessed. We love you. And take care of yourself, man. Ciao. So what is this area called again?
This building?
Yeah.
This is the legislative building. It's basically our parliament building.
Oh yeah, there's a parliament building, right?
So the seat of the provincial government. Premier has his or her residence here at the Legislative Assembly. So this building is the seat of the provincial government of Alberta.
Nice. Wow. That's beautiful. Okay, let me
rejuvenate, which is really cool. I just having a time, of my life, here at the forest. I love, being in the forest. I love, seeing, nature. And this is the lake, right here. You can see, yeah. So this is, let's go down and see more. Nice. This place is nice and tidy. Wow, this is really cool. Wow, look at this, man. This is absolutely amazing. I love seeing a place like this that has all these beautiful views with a most classic atmosphere. Amazing, look at that. There's that little boat over there. That's just right there. So I think this is a great place to start another week, to unwind and start another week, here in Edmonton. There we go. This is what you get here. The tower right there. The sea looks calm and relaxed. It's really calm and relaxed. I can get with you guys. Yeah.
Who am I talking to? Is somebody out there? Should I worry about who is in my head? I felt your heavy breath.
Well, it could be pretty good. It could be fun. We could all just kind of hang out, enjoy our existence, and instead we do this ridiculous 5-6 hour, 80-hour work week, and everybody's miserable. No one likes it. And for whatever reason, no one has decided that maybe we could just not do that and do something else.
Well, I suppose in life, we have to be disciplined in the way. So that is like life itself, kind of, taming us down. Can you tell me about this? Wow. I see that it also has the back, which is the First Nation. That's the First Nation and the British, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's the Treaty 6 agreement.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, that's a 3D6. That's it. You're right. Yep, you're right. Wow. Looks like I've got my vlog for the day. Because every day I vlog, and today I said I wasn't gonna vlog today. I wanted to just sit down and edit, because I have a lot of, editing to do.
If you don't stay on top of it, it gets away from you.
Yeah. So I end up vlogging again, but this is a really important one. I may have to tackle into it right away. Yeah. This is beautiful.
But it ends up being a nightmare for every possible photograph because it's above the plane of your shot. And plus the mask.
This is great.
The legislative gardens are beautiful. All the fountains and trees, flowers.
It's beautiful, man. It's just amazing. Wow, Edmonton is a very beautiful place, man.
It certainly does have its beautiful places.
Yeah, definitely.
Who am I talking to? Is somebody out there? Should I worry about who is in my head? Yeah. I felt your heavy breath through darkness. The smoke is getting